live for the time being. So yeah, I just sent the link to Bill Haney. So Bill, we gonna try to get Bill back on here. So what's going on, everybody? A lot of shit going on, you know, a lot of shit going on in boxing. So we gonna talk about that. So, well, talk about it for as long as we can go. You know what I'm saying? As long as this battery lasts. So that's just basically the bottom line. So in case you guys don't know, I talked to Bill a little while ago. And well, it looked like Javier Fortuna is next in line to face Devin Haney, which by the way, I like that fight. But then again, I don't like that fight. I think, Javier Fortuna is the name, you know, that'll look good on Devin's resume, especially if Devin can get him up out of there. But like I said, with Fortuna, I don't like his fighting style because, like I said, at times he can become, just unwatchable, very unwatchable. So, you know, if it happens, that's cool. And for those who listen to the interview, uh, as you can see, Bill says he doesn't have no problem. Um, what's up? And as you can see, Bill said he would like to fight eventually back in Oakland, but we don't know when anything is going to be open in California. Like I said, best case scenario, maybe, I don't know, maybe midsummer, late summer, worst case, September or the end of the year. It just really depends. So, you know, I would love to have Devin Haney fighting the town. That'll be a good look for Oakland. That'll be big for the town. But the odds of it happening right now is just slim to none because it's just so many hurdles you got to go through just to get, stuff did in California because it just come down to just a lot of hurdles, you know, venues and all that kind of stuff and just a lot of different things. So, hey, if it happens, good. If it don't, then I'll be going to Vegas or wherever they fight. So, you know, um we'll see what happens. All right, so also you got this Manny Pacquiao thing, with Manny Pacquiao, Terrence Crawford, and Ryan Garcia, Errol Spence, which I knew was gonna happen. Now, once again, the goalpost is getting pushed back again, which I knew was gonna happen. Anytime they think Bud is about to one up Errol Spence, then all of a sudden, then yeah, appreciate that. Yeah, so y'all, I'm just gonna be honest with y'all. Some of these channels, y'all just gonna have to take them with a grain of sand because basically they clearly showing they bias and they clearly showing that they don't want certain shit to happen. So, I mean, good grief. Now all of a sudden, if Bud gets the Pacquiao fight over Errol Spence, now it's not a good fight. Pacquiao is old. He hasn't fought 2 years. It's just the excuses. It's just piling up. But yet, everybody want Errol Spence to get the Pacquiao fight. So y'all just see dudes be capping, and that's all it come down to, man. That's just what we got in this world. That's what we got in media. People just be capping. They just be playing these games and shit. So, like I say now, all of a sudden the goalpost been pushed back. It's okay for Errol Spence to get the Manny Pacquiao fight, but if Bud gets it, it's always a yeah, but you know. Now, let me tell you what Manny Pacquiao could be doing. Manny Pacquiao could be playing Bud, which I think he's playing Bud. Manny Pacquiao has had 3 years to fight Terrence Crawford, and he's made no effort to try to put together a fight. From you hearing about Bob Arum talking about he killed the fight, and then it was a fight in place. Like it's just like, which one is it? They just all over the place when it comes to these fights. All see the reason why they don't want Bud to get the Manny Pacquiao fight because if Bud gets the Manny Pacquiao fight, and let's just say Manny Pacquiao gets reinstated as the super champion, and then he fights Terrence Crawford with the super championship on the line, and Terrence Crawford wins that fight, which I think Terrence Crawford will win that fight. Then Terrence Crawford got 2 belts. And then if he stops Manny Pacquiao, he will be the first person since Juan Manuel Marquez to stop Manny Pacquiao. And then if he goes to the negotiation table with Errol Spence, then we right back at square one. Well, Bud deserves 50%. What Manny Pacquiao is doing, he basically saying, okay, well, this is how much I want. He basically using that as a negotiating ploy to see will Al Heyman fork up $40 million for him to fight Terrence Bud Crawford. You guys have to understand, and the pandemic, it would be hard, even for Manny Pacquiao. But you have people on the other side talking about, oh, well, why is Bud willing to take 70-30 with Manny Pacquiao, but he don't want to do it with Errol Spence? So now they having the audacity to try to play the black card. First of all, Manny Pacquiao is a proven pay-per-view commodity. Manny Pacquiao has did over 1 million pay-per-view buys headlining a fight. Now, he hasn't done what he used to do, post Floyd Mayweather. But before that, Manny Pacquiao was drawing 1 million and some change. So he's a proven commodity. Errol Spence haven't. So don't listen to that baloney. And now you hearing some people say, well, if Bud gets Manny Pacquiao over Errol Spence, he don't really want to fight. I'm like, excuse me? So I'm just keeping it 100. Yeah, I'm just keeping it 100. That's exactly what's going on. Manny Pacquiao trying to see if he gonna get Al Heyman to fork out $40 million for him to fight Errol Spence. And like I said, it's gonna be difficult because, like I said, you hearing all this stuff about investors and all this stuff. Look, like I said before, wake me up when it's a damn press conference, okay? Because all we've been hearing is a lot of talk. So wake me up when it's a press conference. For real. This is a negotiating ploy to get Al Heyman to pony up some big money for Manny Pacquiao. Otherwise, Manny Pacquiao is going to fight Mikey Garcia, and then he's going to look for another soft touch, and then that's going to be it. Because really, Manny Pacquiao holding out for a Floyd Mayweather fight. He's still thinking in the back of his head that there's this notion that he could get Floyd Mayweather. That's the only reason why he really came to the PBC. And don't nobody want to tell the truth. That's the honest to God truth. That's the real reason why he came to the PBC, because there was this notion that he might get a second crack at Floyd for some big time money. So, I don't blame him. But I think he been getting finessed by Al Heyman. So now he trying to finesse Al Heyman and Bob Arum. He want to see who gonna come up with $40 million first. And you've been hearing this stuff about investors. Yeah, okay. Okay, so who are these investors and where is this fight supposed to take place? How are you gonna make a return if you willing to invest $50 million into a fight, into a pay-per-view fight? And actually, it's going to be more than that, depending on who's all on the card. So you talking about investing $50 million, and then you basically got to have a live venue. You got to sell a certain amount of tickets. Then you got to sell a certain amount of pay-per-views. So you have to ask yourself, you willing to invest $50 million in Manny Pacquiao? But can you guarantee that Manny Pacquiao and Bud Crawford can sell 1 million pay-per-views? Because they're going to have to sell at least 1 million and some change for anybody to make a profit. You're talking about that fight has to sell 1 million pay-per-views. If it doesn't sell 1 million pay-per-views, then it's gonna be a flop. It has to be guaranteed to do 1 million pay-per-views, especially at $89 a pop or however much. I think $79 a pop. So you're gonna need a lot. Then you got to talk about how much you're gonna have to put into promotion trying to promote this fight. So you're talking about basically a $60 million investment. Then the cable, you got to understand. Then whoever takes the fight, they got to make their money. So that's a big risk. When I say big, I mean big. There's no I'm keeping it 100. There ain't no $40 million out there for Manny Pacquiao. Best case scenario, he can get best case scenario for Terrence Crawford, he might get 25. Worst case, somewhere between 15, and that's it. But there ain't no $40 million out there for Manny Pacquiao. That's just fact. He ain't packing them in like he used to. His last pay-per-view did like, I think versus Keith Thurman, his last pay-per-view did like roughly around between 400 and 500,000. And you talking about a big difference. You talking about you talking about still you need like 500,000, 400,000 more, depending on who you believe, to get 1 million. So nah, man, it's cap. It's cap. It's just flat out cap. If I was Bud, I'd just concentrate on making the Sean Porter fight. That's the best fight out there for Bud as of right now. You know, make that fight. Try to win the Sean Porter fight, and then you could take it from there. But then again, people are already pushing the goalpost back with that fight, which I knew they was gonna do. It happens on a regular basis. It don't matter who Bud fight, people gonna find something wrong with it. But Errol Spence can fight who he fights, and then he the greatest thing that people ever seen. So I'm just telling the truth. Now, I'm looking forward to this fight with Burchett and Valdez. That's gonna be a barn burner, so don't miss that fight. I think that fight is gonna be off the hook. But yeah, I'm just telling the truth about Manny Pacquiao, man. People just, I'm just telling the truth. I'm giving you the numbers. I'm giving you the numbers. What people ain't giving you. A lot of stuff would have to come into play. Manny Pacquiao is trying to price himself out. All this stuff about how many times have we heard about investors? Who are these investors? You ain't heard Bob Arum say nothing about no investors. Because like I said, at the end of the day, people is scared to death of this fight happening. That's all they like I said, people gonna go ape shit if Bud get that Manny Pacquiao fight. And they really gonna, like I said, you're gonna see all the excuses fly if Bud stops Manny Pacquiao, because Bud is gonna be in a bad position because the first thing that's gonna come out their mouth, well, Manny Pacquiao is 42 and he haven't fought in 2 years. I promise you that. Well, that's the point that I'm trying to make. Manny Pacquiao versus Keith Thurman did 500,000. That's worst case scenario. Or should I say best case scenario? Worst case scenario, it did worse than that. Because we all know that PBC been like hiking up the numbers. So like I said before, for anybody to make a profit off Manny Pacquiao, Terrence Crawford, based off how much Terrence Crawford, or should I say Manny Pacquiao, won combined, you talking about, like I said, you talking about you talking about $50 million up front to the fighters. So what investor going I'm for real. Let's be honest. What investor gonna take a chance and invest $50 million in a fight that gonna have to go through the ringer to get live spectators and try to find a home for this fight to be broadcast through. So for real, let's keep it a buck. Let's keep it a buck. Like I said, I gave you guys the numbers. I'm telling you right now, I don't care how much money you got. $50 million is a lot of money. And then, like I said, you got to have an undercard. So who gonna cover the cost for the undercard? So basically, let's just say, okay, well, you get some investors to cover the cost for, Manny Pacquiao and Terrence Crawford, their salaries. Okay, so then who gonna pay the salaries for the other fighters? So what's gonna happen is if Manny Pacquiao and Bud take up all the money, then you gonna have a weak ass undercard. Because the undercards, they're gonna want to get paid. So that's all I'm saying. But anyway, you know, um, I'm out.